And well, there will be some cases of people, escaping. But however, we believe that our institutions can be strong enough, and they will bring all perpetrators to book. If we encourage them, and they will do it. And that's why we have our traditional leaders to also point out. It was in Ghana. They said traditional leaders go and say, this has to happen. And they insist. And with their influence, the police will hide, and everybody, before you know it, things happen. So we trust that we'll keep pushing together and it will get better. Thank you so much. My time is up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yinka Akibu, who has done enormous work that is ongoing to ensure that we have the regional accountability framework for traditional religious leaders in West Africa. He has talked about how important traditional rulers and faith leaders have been towards the work that he's doing, and how traditional rulers have called for it to be user-friendly, easy to use, and easy to implement. Again, from the comments of the House, you heard quite clearly Princess Beatrice Anyong, UN Women Representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS, and the Gimbia of DAS, Emirate Council, Bauchi State, reminding that the accountability framework must necessarily have funding at the core of it. Otherwise, the work that will be done will not be able to be implemented if the traditional rulers don't have funding. She also reminded that while that is being said, it must be owned and homegrown funding strategies, so that we don't continue to look outside and then it's not sustainable. Would like to thank Mr. Yinka Akibu. Please give him a round of applause for that presentation. Thank you very much indeed. I'd like to say that we're going to now divide the room into two for purposes of the breakout session 1 and breakout session 2. And I'm going to go according to, first of all, breakout session 1 will be from this side. Breakout session 2 will be from this side. And then I'm going to split the room into two, except the first table. The first table will be, of course, in whatever breakout sessions they want to be. This first table will be in whatever breakout sessions they want to be. But from the middle of each table after that, 2 persons will go this way, 3 persons will go this way. So the first breakout session is going to be on effective community mobilization and convening on issues relating to gender equality and prevention of gender-based violence. And this lead facilitators for breakout session 1 is Mr. Onyekachi Uma, consultant UN Women. Mr. Onyekachi Uma will be lead facilitator for breakout session 1. Breakout session 2, lead facilitator, Ms. Afua Ansre, project manager, UN Women Ghana. What that means, therefore, would be the top table here, the first table here, right in front of me, where Princess Beatrice Anyong, UN Women Representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS, is seated, will pick whichever breakout session they want to be on. The tables after that will be 2 persons this way, 3 persons this way, 2 persons this way, 3 persons this way. This is breakout session 1, this is breakout session 2. And it will be for 25 minutes. The discussion on this will be 25 minutes. Myself and my colleague Omini will be listening in on either of the breakouts. I will be in breakout 1, Omini will be in breakout 2, and we'll come back and give you a summary of what has been said in those breakout sessions. So if we will gather together for these breakout sessions, it'll help. If the chairs are empty, we need to find a logistic way of managing ourselves on each side, so that way we can have some conversations going on according to the breakout sessions that we have. Of course, breakout session 2, Omini, you have what breakout session 2 is. Yes. Identifying opportunities for high-level advocacy at national and sub-regional levels on violence against women and girls, and promoting promoting Gelway. I couldn't see that without my
That
glasses.
should come to the left.
Yes. So everybody who is in breakout session 2 is this way.
So we should see Mr.
Breakout session 1 is
Miss
this way.
Afua Ansre, project manager,
Yes.
UN Women Ghana.
Right.
Breakout
Yes.
session
And
2,
then we split the
session 1
middle
to the
except
right.
the first table, which will choose wherever they want to be for the breakout sessions. We have 25 minutes to wrap
Can
this.
we see the facilitator
The
here?
day is fast spent, so let's work on it. It's the purpose for which we came, and then we'll take notes across the various breakout sessions.
Facilitator for 1. Okay, this way. Okay. And we have 3 persons this way, 2 persons in the middle here.
Except
2
the
this
first
way,
table.
3 this way.
Except the first table.
Except the first table, please.
Okay, thank
Breakout
you very
session
much.
1,
Thank you.
effective community mobilization
Section
and
breakout section
convening
1,
on
you can
issues
join.
relating to gender equality and prevention of gender-based violence. Breakout session 1. Breakout session 2, Princess asked me to read out what the sessions are. Breakout session 2, identifying opportunities for high-level
Okay, breakout
advocacy
session
at national and sub-regional levels of violence against women and girls, ending violence against women and girls, and promoting Gelway. That's breakout session 2. Identifying opportunities for high-level advocacy at national and sub-regional levels on ending violence against women and girls and promoting Gelway.
Please, just to inform us, after the breakout session, we should be very close to the end of this, please. And it's for 25 minutes? 25 minutes, please. Let's make it snappy. You have to mobilize your team.
Thank you.
Because my colleague will also be talking to you.
I think there are some seats here. Try to see if we can join here. Let me go to where I'm. Yeah,
Okay, please. Yes.
yeah. Okay, so can we join?
You are in breakout 2 sections. Yeah.
What are we talking about again? Number 2. Yeah, that's it.
Identifying options for high-level advocacy. What are the opportunities for high-level advocacy at national and regional level? We're thinking about just to try what are the opportunities.
So, my fathers, I greet you, and my mothers. Greetings. So, are we all here together? Okay. I greet you all. Oh. Please, are we ready? Okay, so we don't have much time. I'll just go straight to the point. Sorry, oh. Let me stand here. Please, can you hear me? So, for this group, we are discussing we are supposed to identify opportunities for high-level advocacy at national and sub-regional
levels on ending violence against women and girls and promoting gender equality and women's empowerment. Since morning, we have been talking about violence against women and girls. We have all agreed that this is something that we don't like in our society. There's no society that agrees that its women and girls should be abused in any shape or form. Now, we have also heard about the framework, our accountability framework. We want to discuss now the opportunities we have. There's one group that's discussing another thing. We are supposed to discuss our opportunities, what opportunities we can take to promote advocacy against gender-based violence, and also to promote gender equality and women's empowerment within our nations and within the sub-region. We will capture this and present in about 20 minutes, so we don't have much time.
Because everyone is as if we are all participating while we're in another session. Thank you very much. 5 minutes more. 5 minutes more. We should be wrapping up now. We should be rounding up now. I think time is up. We should be rounding up now. Time is up. Okay, 2 more minutes, please. 2 more minutes. It's a countdown. One more minute. A minute to go. Less than 60 seconds. Seriously. Less than 30 seconds. I think it's time now. -5, -4, -3, -2, and 0.
Let's hear a round of applause for all the breakout sessions. Breakout sessions have been excellent. I have been a fly on the wall in breakout session 1, and I've been listening in. And so at this point in time, having had these breakout sessions, we have had the opportunity to speak to the issues in each breakout session. Omini will come and talk about breakout session 2, but I'll quickly tell you some of the highlights of breakout session 1, which was very well facilitated by Mr. Onyekachi Uma, consultant to UN Women. I'm going to quickly run through what I have as my notes. Of course, there would be the technical and professional highlights when the communique session is coming up in a short while. But at the moment, please permit me to look at breakout session 1, effective community mobilization and convening on issues relating to gender equality and prevention of gender-based violence. There were several points raised in session 1. It was a very, very active session, and I'd like to say that I was very pleased to be part of them. So, religious leaders preaching in church or mosques for Friday sermon, Sunday service, and public gathering of traditional heads, district heads. At those places, GBV should be mentioned and should be talked about and addressed. Community task force. In other words, keeping an eye on the community, which of course our traditional rulers have been doing very well over the years, but stepping up the game and ensuring that there's a task force that can report what is going on. Community task force. Measurement of progress, achievements, and challenges. In other words, to audit what is going on. Let's see, what have we put in place? What are we using to check whether it is being done? How many challenges have we had? Has there been 8? Has it dropped to 7? Basically looking at the statistics. So measurement. The speak up methodology. To allow people to speak up about what they have seen. And again, the breakout session also recommended that incentives should be given to those who come up to speak the truth, so that other people will follow to do same. Inclusiveness program. For example, end of year meetings of traditional rulers in their kingdoms can have GBV as part of the conversation. And then GBV education training can be one of the things that is done at the end of the year at those meetings. There is also the root cause of GBV. If we don't educate our boys and we keep telling them that they are the kings, they are the heads of families, and that women don't matter, then we're going to continue to bring up boys without any positive influence. But we must tell our boys that they are the ones that protect the women in the community and make them responsible. So we need to address the root cause of GBV by addressing our boys and bringing them up better. Then there is town hall meetings and also school engagement, age group meeting to address GBV, and women's meetings, especially like they say in the East, the August women's meeting, but every community has women's meetings. We all go back to our homestead and we have meetings and we can address these issues. Media rules the world. Therefore, we must use media effectively, particularly social media, which is technology driven, which because of some of our ages we are not using, we must encounter it. That's where young people go to. So we must also use the Nollywood actors so that we can put this in drama and film and use Nollywood actors and actresses from all our communities across West Africa. And then we should also have those movies and films. It's not just the movie and film. There should be a moral to the story. There should be call to action. We cannot just go and do a film and in the end the victim feels sad and there is no answer to the victim's problem. Drug use has been said by Breakout Session 1 to be some of the reasons why we have GBV. And there's a strong connection between drug use and GBV. What can be done? Can we partner with organizations related to drug use prevention, like NDLEA in Nigeria? Can we partner with professional institutions, National Union of Road Transport Workers, Nigeria Bar Association, Nigeria Medical Association, and the Engineers Association? So let us use the platform of professional bodies to talk about GBV and try to bring it to an end. Also have enabling laws that are clear. Criminalize the act. Don't just say there is a law against you if you do this. There must be consequences. There must be appropriate punishment. Don't say if somebody rapes somebody, put him in jail for 1 month. They know it's 1 month. Or let him pay 5,000 naira. Those kinds of things will make the perpetrator to go forward. He keeps his 5,000 in the pocket, commits the crime, and becomes a repeated criminal because he knows that he can buy himself out with 5,000 naira. So there should be appropriate punishment. Family is the strongest unit, and we must bring up the children. Let us not say it is the fault of National Assembly. Let us call National Assembly. Let us call government. Let us call our families to order. Let it start at home. Because if within the family there is love, within the family we don't hide our children who are misbehaving, we can bring this to a stop. You teach the boys to respect the girls. You don't say, boys, go and play football, girls, go and cook. Because if you do that, then the boy is going to think tomorrow when his wife is pregnant and can't bend down, that it's her job to cook. It doesn't matter if she's dying. So we must, as a matter of urgency, bring the matter into the family, which has always been the African thing. Let's return to it. Again, let us come also to community bylaws, which is not necessarily legally bound, but again, this has always gone on in Africa, where the community takes a decision within the community. If somebody does this, this is what we're going to do to that person, through our various chiefdoms, district heads, and our various kingdoms, made by the community members for community members. Again, it was raised that this should not conflict with the laws of the land. So if you have those things within the community to prevent GBV, let it not conflict with the laws of the land. Again, I respectfully thank Breakout Session 1, facilitated by Mr. Onyekachi Umar, Consultant, UN Women. Let's hear a round of applause for them. Omini. I hope I've managed to capture. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Shall we please give Eugenia a round of applause? She did not just manage to capture, she captured it copiously. Copiously. Let me. And sub-regional levels on AVAWG and promoting GEWE. That session was facilitated by Afua Ansre, Project Manager, UN Women, Ghana. In addressing this, a couple of issues came up. One, advocacy to schools to speak to the girl child on their rights and opportunities. Advocacy to the market women to speak to their opportunities and rights. To the parents at home to see the reason why the girl child should be sent to school by compulsion, more or less. Two persons looked at taking advantage of festive periods like Eid al-Fitr, Christmas periods, and other festive periods. I cannot copiously say here to carry on the advocacy. There was the issue of role models. They need to have traditional rulers to be role models to these girls, and this will enable them to speak up and embolden them to know their rights. And also these role models will be used to broaden their horizons on what their rights and opportunities are and what they stand to gain as a gender group. Also, traditional religious leaders should engage the parliament. The parliament is at the center, but the traditional religious leaders are the grassroots. So they have more information. So there have to be this interface, deliberate communication, deliberate interface with the parliament, bringing them up to speed on what exactly is the case, because the parliament is at the center, but the traditional religious leaders are right there at the grassroots. They feel and come face to face with the persons involved. We also had the case of that this campaign should be bottom up from the rural level to the center. And this will enhance awareness. And at the center, we can use media and also engage CSOs and NGOs. How do we start this advocacy? First, are we convinced about gender equality and gender complementarity? If we're not convinced about it, how do you start it? But if you're convinced about it, then you'll be able to start it. Then we should understand that gender-based violence is not only physical, it cuts across, it's also emotional. High impact will be achieved when the advocacy is taken to schools. Because at the formative stage, kindergarten, primary, secondary, they listen more and they adapt more. So we should look at taking the campaigns to schools. Also on advocacy, traditional religious leaders will be more effective than the political leaders. We heard them say it here that to get to them is so easy, but to get to the state actors is most times very, very difficult. So that's one we will have to look at. We should start from the home to spread the message within the purview of inclusivity, equality, and reciprocity. And this also links up to where they talked about looking closely at the educational system. What curriculum do we have for the girl child and the boys, where we encourage the girls to see careers like nursing and the boys' careers like the military. So we should look at the educational curriculum to come up with the need for equality, the need for inclusivity among the gender. That is the brief I got as much as I could listen from breakout session 2, which looked at, let me just recap it again, identifying opportunities for high-level advocacy at national and sub-regional levels. And the team was highly interactive, led by AFO ANSRIF Project Manager UN Women. Shall we give breakout session 2 a round of applause, please? I hope I tried. Thank you very much. I think at this point I should invite Eugenia.
have your commitment from your delegation. So I'd like to call you up to make that quick in 1 minute, if you can. And then after her, we're going to have Isa Suna Sahadatu, Directorate of Women's Promotion, Niger Republic. Is she here? She is?
An average of 86%, roughly 9 in 10 people of sub-Saharan Africa, declare that religion is a very important aspect of their lives. African belief systems, cultures, and values have always been deeply connected to tradition and religion. Certainly, religious and traditional leaders play significant roles in maintaining values and practices that promote social cohesion in our respective communities. Today, we acknowledge the contributions of these renowned religious leaders in our communities. Notwithstanding, we are also fully aware that traditional faith leaders have deemed as collective mechanism of social control of women, an aspect that ultimately lead to harmful gender relationships and practices. In the Quran, and I quote, Quran 4:19 says, "Oh, believers treat women with kindness, even if you dislike them." And in the Bible, Ephesians 5:22 says, "Wives, submit yourselves to your husband." Ephesians 5:25 also says, "Husband, love your wife." With all of the above, I, Rebecca A. Tappe Major, first female Secretary General of the Interreligious Council of Liberia, join other religious leaders and traditional leaders of Liberia to commit ourselves to transforming cultural norms and preserving positive cultures that protect cultural heritage, educating communities about harmful impact of culture and the benefit it brings. I thank you all.
Husbands, love your wives. And I remember that in breakout session 2, they were saying, can we ask the women to also do well? And I thought that was a great, important position. But again, because husbands are also fathers to us, it's expected that if we don't do well, they don't kill us. They just make us better. Because if they are not doing well, we tell them gently. I think that's what this is all about. We thank you so very much. We'll now take Isa Sona Sadatu, Directorate of Women's Promotion, Niger Republic. C'est français? Non? Oh, ah ouais.
Ici présente. Donc, mes remerciements aux organisateurs pour m'avoir donné l'opportunité de présenter la situation au Niger par rapport à l'engagement de nos autorités, de nos chefs traditionnels et religieux. Je me nomme Madame Diop Sahadatou Issa Souna, et chef de division protection des droits de la femme au ministère de la Santé publique, de la population et des affaires sociales. Donc, le phénomène de la violence basée sur le genre, il affecte la majorité des femmes. D'accord, d'accord.
In one of our studies, we have women and girls that are affected to the tune of 60%, contrary to men.
Donc, elles sont généralement tolérées
So they are
socialement,
generally tolerated in the society,
mais elles restent un comportement inacceptable,
but these behaviors are considered unacceptable
car elles constituent une violation flagrante des
because
droits
this is
humains
a blatant violation of human rights
en raison de leur effet dévastateur
as a result of the devastating
Sur les
effect
victimes,
on victims,
la famille
families,
et la société.
and the society at large.
Donc, selon une étude
So this was a study
sur les ampleurs et les déterminants
conducted on the scope
des
and
VBG
factors of gender-based violence,
commanditée
which were ordered
par le ministère en charge de la promotion de
by
la
the
femme,
Ministry for the Promotion of Human Affairs
avec l'appui de l'UNFPA,
with the support of UNFPA.
la prévalence globale
The global prevalence
au cours de la vie
during life
est de 29%,
stands at 29%,
soit 38,2 chez
which
les
is
femmes
38.2 for women
et 16,3
and
chez les
16.3
hommes.
for men.
Donc cela nous a obligés à agir
So this compelled us to take actions
collectivement,
collectively
en synergie,
in a synergy
dans la prévention,
in prevention,
dans la protection,
protection,
dans la prise en charge.
and taking care.
Et ça implique la mobilisation de tous les
And this
acteurs.
covers all actors.
D'accord. Donc, non seulement il y a le pouvoir,
So we not only have power,
il y a les PTF,
we have PTF,
il y a les ONG associations,
NGO associations,
d'abord. Il y a la communauté,
we have the community,
il y a les chefs coutumiers et
we have
religieux
religious and traditional
en
heads,
particulier.
particularly.
Parce que l'État a constaté que c'est cette frange de la population
the state realized that it is this population that plays a very important role
de par leur influence
based on their influence,
their
crucial influence
pour amener l'égalité des genres,
in ensuring that there is gender balance.
Car la promotion
Because promotion
du respect mutuel
of mutual respect
revêt une importance capitale
is an important aspect
dans une société
in a society
où leurs paroles
where their speech,
sont écoutées
their voices are heard
et respectées.
and respected.
Voilà. Les chefs traditionnels et religieux
Traditional and religious heads
du Niger
from Niger
sont d'ores et déjà engagés
are now working on this
en matière de lutte contre les
in terms
VBG,
of fighting against
à l'égard donc des femmes, des VBG,
fighting against gender-based
à
violence
l'égard des femmes
for women
et des filles,
and young girls.
mais aussi des pratiques
This
préjudiciables
includes prejudices
et la promotion de la santé
as well as the
reproductive.
promotion of reproductive
Donc,
health.
nous avons des approches communautaires
We have community approaches
où les chefs religieux et toute la
where
communauté
religious heads and the entire community
impliqués
are involved,
et à un point douté
and in record time
pour que ce fléau soit éradiqué.
they are trying to stem this scourge from the society.
Voilà, ce qui est vraiment important, l'importance vraiment de
So
cette
that's the
assise.
importance of our gathering,
De cette assise.
of this gathering.
Donc, quant au gouvernement,
So for the government,
on peut traduire cela
we can translate this
à travers notre constitution
through our constitution,
qui stipule du 25
which states
novembre
from 25 November
2010
2010,
qui stipule
it states that,
à son article 22
based on Article 22,
que l'État veille
that the state has to ensure
à l'élimination
that it stems out
de toutes les formes de
all
discrimination
forms of discrimination
à l'égard de la femme,
against women,
de la jeune fille,
young girls.
mais aussi des personnes handicapées.
This covers
pour
people with
l'inclusion.
disabilities for inclusion.
Voilà. Donc, entre autres,
So among other things,
on peut parler aussi
we can also
d'un
talk about
document de référence
a reference document
qui est la stratégie
that is a strategy
de prévention,
for prevention,
de réponse
response
au VBG,
to GBV
oui, 2017-2021,
2017-2021,
qui a été révisé
which was
en 2023
revised in 2023
avec son plan d'action
with an action plan
2024-2028,
2024-2026,
tenant compte
taking into
de
consideration
nouveaux défis,
major challenges,
à savoir
which is
l'exploitation et les abus
exploitation and sexual abuse.
sexuels. Voilà. Donc c'est pour dire que le Niger est
This is
vraiment
to
très
say
engagé
that Niger is highly
engagé
committed
dans la lutte contre les
in
violences
the
basées
fight
sur les
against
genres
gender-based violence
et la prévention
and prevention
contre les harcèlements et les abus
against
sexuels.
harassment and sexual abuse.
Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Indeed, we appreciate our translator who took the time to translate that almost simultaneously. We want to thank Isa Suna Sahadatu, Directorate of Women's Promotion, Niger Republic. A round of applause to her. She makes her way to her seat. We now have PC Faya Sundifu Brima Sovulo, 4 of Kamajay Kingdom and General Secretary of Paramount Chiefs in Sierra Leone. Thank you, sir. He's making his way to the podium. Encourage him, please, as he comes to make his commitment from the delegation of Sierra Leone.
Significant role in preventing gender-based violence and harmful practices in our communities. We believe that our active positions can influence the attitude and behaviors towards gender-based violence, we believed we are and we can be powerful agents in our various communities. Our influence in our respective communities can be used to promote positive gender norms, to provide support to survivors of GBV, increase the awareness about harmful effects to GBV, and advocate laws and policies that protect women and girls in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Your Royal High Justice, Excellencies, distinguished participants, on behalf of the traditional leaders in Advocacy Ghana, traditional leaders and religious leaders, dedicated and passionate royal fathers, chiefs, queen mothers in Ghana, who are actively geared to change the narratives of harmful cultural practices and domestic violence, advocating for positive masculinity and committed to shifting from their comfort zones to ensure that our communities are informed, our children protected, the youth educated, and women empowered. We celebrate the contribution of our partners and all the stakeholders, and we make this commitment to the annual high-level GBV Prevention Summit to support our partners and supporters towards achieving GBV prevention in our regions and our communities. We, the traditional leaders in Advocacy Ghana, collectively call on the UN Women, the Ford Foundation, partners and organizers of the summit to celebrate the outcomes of this annual GBV Prevention Summit and to congratulate the organizers and partners for the regional consultations leading to this high-level summit through a collaborative and consultative process in responding to the GBV crisis, and to convey the commitment of the organizers to provide leadership and technical support to advance our cause for GBV prevention in Africa. I convey the support of the traditional religious leaders in advocacy in Ghana and call for donors and supporters for funding for our activities, and whilst we run on existing international programs such as the Menstrual Hygiene Week coming up very soon towards the end of May in Ghana, such as the International Day of the Girl Child coming up in October, and also the 16 days of activism through to December, etc., so that we can get some funds to push the agenda for the programs that we have lined up, so we are not just doing rhetorics, but we are actually walking the talk. We call on our partners and organizers of this high-level summit to translate our commitments into actions by facilitating the establishment of KOTLA in Ghana. This will strengthen our collaboration, it will promote advocacy efforts, pursue capacity building initiatives, and to operationalize the accountability framework we have just been introduced to. We encourage UN Women, Ford Foundation, and other funding partners to deepen engagements with KOTLA International, by increasing opportunities for us to contribute to and support GBV prevention policy and pragmatic initiatives, including close cooperations with partners. We convey our commitment to ensuring that partners will keep the door of communications open. We also call for convening of a high-level Kotla Summit in Ghana with capacity-building training components and resource mobilization mechanisms while sharpening our knowledge in M&E to enable us measure our work, utilizing the regional accountability framework and for traditional and religious leaders. We remain available to discuss any further issues, and of course, those that I have recounted above. We recommend that UN Women count on us anytime that you want us to work in our communities. We are available and ready. Thank you very much.
Let's give a round of applause once again to Ghana. They need funding to run some earmarked programs and also to establishment of Kotla in Ghana. We are making progress, and next on the agenda is plenary interventions presenting the call to actions. Join me as invite His Royal Highness Dr. Yahaya Haliru Danusa, OON, Emir Shonga, Kwara State, Nigeria, and Deputy Convener General of Kotla for the presentation presenting the call to actions.
Good evening, all. Distinguished, what do you call it, High Representative of the UN Women, distinguished Obels, Chiefs, Emirs here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I've been asked to read the commitment we all are going to agree to. Commitment on ending gender-based violence by traditional religious leaders at the 2024 annual high-level gender-based violence prevention summit. Dated 21st May 2024 at Transcorp Hilton, Abuja, Nigeria. The annual high-level gender-based violence prevention summit on Tuesday, the 21st May 2024, convened by the UN Women with the support of Ford Foundation at the Transcorp Hilton, Abuja, is a signature event bringing together traditional and religious leaders from Nigeria and West Africa. The summit is convened under the auspices of the traditional and cultural leaders for ending GBV by advancing advocacy, policy, and social norms change in Nigeria and West Africa. This convening provided us the opportunity to share good practices in addressing gender-based violence, including ongoing efforts at transforming the harmful social norms that perpetuate and reinforce violence against women and girls through our community mobilization activities and high-level advocacies. The summit has provided a space to strengthen regional collaboration and strategies for addressing pushback on gender equality and women and girls' rights in the region and indeed the African continent. We'll continue to lead in coordinating the violence against women and girls prevention policies and programs in our respective jurisdictions. Therefore, we affirm our commitment to: 1. We reiterate in strong terms our condemnation of all forms of violence against women and girls, consciously add the weight of our revered tools to actions and movements aimed at eliminating human rights violations. Number 2, we advocate for the effective implementation of regional frameworks, including the protocol to the African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights on the rights of women in Africa, Maputo Protocol, popularly called, and Africa 2363 Accord of the AU. The Africa we want, toward upholding all of relevant laws prohibiting all forms of violence against women and girls, including female genital mutilation or cutting and child marriage. Item 3, commitment 3, explore and carry out actions to support traditional and religious leaders, civil society, and other stakeholders in the Gambia to ensure the law prohibiting female genital mutilation or cutting is upheld. Item 4, pledge to sustain our commitment to championing education and awareness at the community level, especially among the boys and men, to nurture a generation of male allies. We aim to sensitize community members to address harmful social norms and practices that perpetuate and reinforce violence against women and girls. 5, sustain the declaration of our policies as safe spaces for survivors of gender-based violence. We will cooperate with government institutions to hold perpetrators of such heinous crimes accountable. Item 6, sustain opportunities for peer learning amongst our traditional and religious leaders, solidarity, action, and cross-regional experience sharing on best practices for ending violence against women and girls and increasing women's participation in public life. Item 7, commitment 7, intensify exploration and mapping of social norms to drive prevention initiatives. This will enhance the interrogation of these norms to provoke social consciousness, catalyze and transformation of detrimental norms, and fortify those that align with the promotion of human rights, women's empowerment, and gender equality. Finally, we hold ourselves accountable for upholding personal, moral, and cultural values that ensure the protection of the rights and dignity of all within their domains. We strive to model our conduct in harmony with these values. Thank you all. So we all have to sign our document and put on our walls at home. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Kwara State. Shall we give a round of applause, please? Quickly, we are almost closing now, and we take regional action. Evan, let me invite, sorry, the write-up here is not very clear, so regional action, Evan, specialist, let's invite Alet Mvondo of UN Women, please. Shall we give her?
Almost at the end of this very important summit, very important for UN Women, because in our mandate we have to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls. And we can't do that if we don't work on social norms. And to work on social norms, we need to work with traditional leaders, cultural leaders, and religious leaders. It is very important. My name is Arlette Mvondo, and I am the Regional Advisor on Violence Against Women for UN Women. And for us, as I said, it's very important. So this morning, I was quietly listening to everything that has been said, and I was very happy on the call of action that His Royal Majesty has just read. And I think as UN Women working, representing here the regional office, we can reiterate our commitment to support COTLA, to support Ghana by establishing the national chapter. We have already discussed with AFWA, and to support the Nigeria country office who has the lead with the Ford Foundation on implementing the call for action. Since this morning, I'm hearing something which is coming and coming. You want practical action. And I think after this summit, what we need to do is really to go for practical action. I also listened I think an important thing is to move from Abuja and to go to the rural communities. And I think the next summit, I don't know if it will be in Ghana, but the next summit, we will really be on the ground with the communities and with your support. So thank you very much for your ideas. Thank you very much for your support. And let's continue to fight gender-based violence together. Thank you.
Let me invite Ms. Ella McFoy, Program Specialist, UN Women. Let's encourage her, please. We are almost rounding off for today.
Full discussions, and I'm here to just give a synopsis of today's meeting. So, we want to look at some of the commitments and the communiques of today's meeting. We've come to terms that traditional religious leaders are at the center of transforming social norms, and there is a need to continue cascading discussions at high level, right down to grassroots. Traditional religious leaders should be seen as an asset to government in their work. We also recognize the importance of institutionalizing funding so that traditional religious leaders can better support their work. But even though we acknowledge that, we want to reiterate here that it's better and more sustainable if we have this funding coming from within institutions. We also had breakout sessions which highlighted innovative strategies. Our breakout sessions were really, really engaging. We got a lot of proposals from traditional religious leaders in terms of how we can better prevent SGBV in their different communities. And we also had some high-level engagements on regional advocacy, including leveraging on key international moments, using their spaces of influence to firstly engage with their religious and traditional compatriots. We also look at commitment from religious and traditional leaders, reiterating the scriptural text that speaks on gender equality, commitment to work, and with all multi-stakeholder actors, and take note of synergies. Our fifth commitment is that community approaches for traditional and religious leaders must also take into account the inclusion of persons living with disabilities. Our sixth commitment is that we ask from Ghana to establish COTLA chapters in the region and commitment to operationalize regional accountability framework. So we've got to ask specifically from Ghana, but we're also looking at supporting other countries in the regions that do not currently have COTLA to support with the establishment of COTLA in these different countries, whilst also supporting the implementation and operationalization of the regional accountability framework. And the seventh commitment is that commitment that leaders keep their doors open for engagements, for conversations, for discussions on how we can work with traditional leaders and how they can work with UN Women to better prevent GBV in our communities. And again, we had a call to action from traditional religious leaders. And finally, we had a commitment that traditional and religious leaders will mobilize to engage for changing gendered social norms in their different communities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Excellencies, Your Majesties, and Your Highnesses, all protocols duly observed. The Sultan Foundation, as you know, under the leadership of His Eminence, the Sultan, has been leveraging and working with UN Women in this great job since the beginning of the Spotlight Initiative project. And I'm happy to mention that the Sultan Foundation will be implementing or has started implementing the LEAP project in 6 states in the northwest and north central of the Federation of Nigeria. We have gone a long way in supporting this program, and on behalf of the Sultan Foundation, I wish to reiterate our support and all that it takes to UN Women and the Port Foundation. Of course, inform you that we'll implement all the recommendations, all the commitments that this August occasion deserve, as long as it is consonant with the culture and religion of our people. Thank you very much.
The Council of Traditional Rulers of Africa, what do you call it then? Conseil de l'Afrique. Okay. CONATA or COTLA. It's an organization that was created about 3-4 years ago. We have moved at a snail pace, and I hope we will now accelerate our pace. The idea is, when you come to any country, COTLA cannot act on its own. It's Council of Traditional Rulers of Africa. You are only a representative of your country in that council. And when you come, you must graft onto the council of the country. When you come with information from the council outside, it's like United Nations or AU, you now present it to the central government, and it's disseminated down through traditional leaders to the east, to the west, to the north. But we've come here and we got arrested. We did not fuse with the council. I was trying to raise the issue so I would resolve it this time. Unfortunately, he's late. But The CG thought we should form a different secretariat, and we had that debate going on for about a year and a half. But we decided to resolve it at this meeting. So I think the issue simply is more sense if we come from Addis Ababa, wherever we've gone, and come and meet the council, Sultan and others in the Central Council, Ooni of Ife, and speak. Then the members, our chairmen and others from other states, will then take it back to the states. Easiest way to disseminate information. We cannot, as a secretariat in either Osun or Lagos, start sending information separately. It's going to be counterproductive. It's counterintuitive. And so we're looking forward to rapid development of Council of Traditional Rulers in Africa. It is, the structure is simple. There's a director general or conveyor general who we just lost, unfortunately. May his soul rest in peace. May Allah give him al-Jannah Firdaus. He is, all in all, then there are 4 deputy conveyor generals. I'm one, an Anglophone, and then there's one in the Francophone, sitting in Congo, and then there are 2 others, one admin and one in the East Africa. Now there are 6 regions in Africa, so there are supposed to be 6 deputy convener generals. So we have not matured that point yet. But then at country level or at regional level, we have regional conveyors. And the man from Niger, the emir from Tuso, is actually in the Francophone West Africa. And then the one from Sierra Leone, who's from Sierra Leone here? Well, my brothers from Sierra Leone, where are they? Yeah, we lost one of us, didn't we, last time? Remember? The chap whom we lost, the man who died, one of your president or secretary. We have not replaced him since then. So the Anglophone regional person is not there. So we need to sit down, beef up everything, and now start working fully. I'm sorry to tell you that we don't even have a board yet. We've made proposals. Ashanti, we have Sultan, we have Oni here, and Ubi. Then they ought to have one from the rest of West Africa, from North Africa, East Africa. But those, they are also proposals, and it's not been adopted yet. There's supposed to be an election last year, because every 3 years we should have an election. So we've been in default of the law, and I sincerely hope that we pick up as soon as possible. With the new funding now and UN Women, Kotla will now become the regional organization it's supposed to be. The whole idea is, along with UN and other bodies, is to actually support support national bodies and communities to effect their programs through funding, technical support, and what have you. Because we find that we run short of funds, you cannot. But you can always apply and get regional bodies coming through to assist. So I just thought I should make that clarification. We've not gone as far as we should, but within the next few months, I'm sure we'll catch up. So those who are joining Kotla very soon, I'm sure your pace will be much, much faster, and you will have a clever. We have got a manual, we've got the objectives, we've got everything ready, except getting a general assembly and then an election. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Every gentleman and ladies, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. My name is Princess Barrister Ebela Aka. I'm the Princess of Amozala Kingdom in Udi, Enugu State. I'm here to give a vote of thanks to the UN Women and the Fourth Foundation for organizing this high-profile meeting that brought all our Royal Majesties together from West Africa, Niger, Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Liberia. I believe that all that we have learned today, that we are going to implement it and further advocacies in our different communities. And I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank the UN Women and also the Kotla family, which I am lucky to be a member and also the only female member for now in Nigeria, not in international. So I thank everyone, and I wish each and every one of us journey back home as we go back to our various families. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Thank you so much.